I'll just read out what I need to read out and then take questions, I suppose. But I suppose for me, this it's not the Shane Crawford, that's what I'm talking about moment. But unfortunately, the blood clots haven't cleared for me. And as I said to the boys before, every pig has their day, and mine's today. It's time to hang them up. Family's got to come first now, and the risks are a little bit high. I've got to continue on the blood thinners for a bit longer, and the clot's still there. And speaking to the doctors, it could hang around for a longer period of time. So I was lucky enough to be drafted to the Brisbane Lions Footy Club. I really want to thank them for the opportunity. My ma actually barracked for the Brisbane Bears, and she passed away in '98, so I'm sure she had something to do with it to get me there. But everyone at the Brisbane Lions and everyone involved with that football club, I just want to thank you for the opportunity you took on me as a young fella to give me a chance and to where I am now. I spoke to the boys before, and I said I feel a bit bad. I don't think Port Adelaide seen me at my best, which hurts a little bit, but there's a number of reasons that went into that and why I wasn't able to perform the best I could. We had a good little period and some good moments, but not as consistent over the 4 years that I would have liked. And it's a shame to end this way, but the way the Port Adelaide family, community, footy club has embraced me and my family, Shana and Jackson, who've got here, can't thank them enough. It's been a really special journey, and people speak about being a one-club player, and I see myself as a loyal player. I've seen out every contract I've had, and I wouldn't have changed it for a thing. I've loved every minute of my time at Port Adelaide, and I just want to thank everyone involved at the football club. I think I've been able to be myself for 13 years. I don't think I've changed for anyone. I spoke to the boys before about turning up as an 18-year-old, being overweight, can't run, can't jump, can't do this, can't do that, can't kick over 30, and I leave the game exactly the same way, but I've been able to play 200 along the way, so it's been a pretty special journey. And there's just a few people and organisations that I want to thank, and then open the floor up. Firstly, the Benalla Saints Football Club and all the coaches involved there throughout my junior days. I think you got me to where I am. Jeff Hanrahan was a really important coach for me when I was growing up. The Murray Bush Rangers in the TAC Cup, Port Adelaide and Brisbane, which I've touched on, and then the media commitments that I've had along the way. Triple M have been really good to me down here in Channel 10 this year. The senior coaches I've had, Ken Hinkley, Chris Fagan, Justin Lepage and Michael Vosch, have all had an impact on me in some shape or form, and I really appreciate all the work that you did for me. There's plenty of assistant coaches I've had over the years. I'm going to miss some people here, and I apologise for that. I will try and get around, but Craig Britton, Chris Johnson, Adrian Fletcher, Shane Woden, Ben Hudson, Denny Daly, Dale Tapping and Scully, Jared Schofield, and there's many more that have impacted my career and turned me into the player I am and person. So I thank you all for that. To the numerous sponsors that have sponsored footy clubs over the years, look at the board behind us, that they put in a mountain of dollars for us to be able to go out there and play. All the volunteers that have been involved in the footy clubs that I've been a part of, I want to thank you from the heart. You do so much work for us that as players we probably overlook it a lot of the time, and you put in countless hours, and it goes a lot unrewarded, but the work that you do for us, I just want to thank you personally. Nicole Duncan and Di, how did it say Di's last name? Pounds-it. The two amazing women that do a mountain of work for both the footy clubs that I was involved in, and they've done so much for me and my family, and they continue in those roles now. All the workers at both clubs, all footy departments, there's so much, all the behind-the-scenes staff, your media teams, your commercial, your membership teams, you do a mountain of work, and we're probably ungrateful for what goes into footy clubs. We think we just turn up and play, and that's all it is, but there's a much bigger business and a lot more that goes into it than that. The CEOs that I've had over time, the physios, have spent a fair bit of time on me over the last few years, and right from the beginning, we've worked closely, and I appreciate all that. The doctors I've had, Doc McConnell, Doc Smith, Doc Newberry and Dr Fisher, probably spent too much time with the Port Adelaide ones over the last couple of years, but I just want to thank you. The welfare guys, the Lamberts, Manny Lynch, Stewie Hoff, used to do a mountain of work as well behind the scenes and with the players to make us happy, and whether it's pretty much wipe our bums from when we were 18, when we get to the club, and teach us to grow up, and are there to support us. So thank you. The conditioning staff that I've had, Lockie Penfolds, Matt Haas, Brett Burton, Ian McEwen, Mitchie Bailey and Stewie Graham, the work you've done with me. As I said before, I can't run out of sight, but I've somehow found a way to do it. All the supporters of the footy clubs, usually the people that matter, usually the ones that are there in the wins and the losses. The Brisbane ones, we didn't have as many wins as we would have liked, but Port Adelaide, loved the supporters. We probably upset you at times, and you get angry and whatnot, but I think your support is really important to football clubs. And I know that I've always tried my best when I'm out there. To all my friends, a couple of groups that I'm involved in that have been really supportive over the Free Money Boys, the Port Power's Finest and the Tambos group, been really important. Networks for me to connect with and talk. Adidas, you've been there from my first game to my last, and appreciate that. Ash Hardy and your team, Mark Rossman and Peter Taylor are two others. My manager, Tommy Petroio, known him for 15 or 16 years. He's been there every step of the way through the 2 drafts that I missed and didn't get picked up. He was there to support me and look after me and get me through. Every teammate that I've had over the years, you guys are the ones that make it special, and that's the thing that I'm going to miss most, is the locker room banter and whatnot. But I've had so many great teammates over the years, champions of the game, blokes that have never played, but I've enjoyed building connections and relationships with all of you along the way. My family, mum, dad, pa, aunties, uncles, cousins, loans, like everyone that has been involved in my career and shaped that. Countless hours of travel, particularly growing up in country Victoria, to get to Melbourne and play. It's such a big commitment from the family to do that, and you never stepped away from that. My brother, James, you've always been there whenever I've needed you. And best man at my wedding last year, and I really want to thank you for everything you've done. Jack and Shana, they're in the room in the back corner. It's been a good journey. Can't wait for what's next for us. We've got another little baby boy on the way, and can't wait for the journey we have together as a family. But yeah, I've probably missed a few people there, but I hope I've covered most of it, and I just wanted to thank everyone for my career.
So Phil, I take it you would have wanted a different ending, but you wouldn't change any other chapter in the book, or is that the read on it?
Yeah, I think so. I think you clearly make mistakes along the way, and I've definitely made mistakes, and I'll continue to make mistakes in the future, but I wouldn't change the ride. It's been an incredible journey, and last year's prelim still hurts a little bit. I think we should have been a bit further in front heading in towards that last quarter, and Richmond, to their credit, were really good, and would have been lovely to win one, Rooch, and play more finals, but not everyone gets their perfect script. And yeah, I would have, bar the blood clots, I was doing everything I could to get back this year and play. And I think we've got a special group at the moment that can do some pretty big damage in September this year. I think we sit right where we want to. We're in the top 4. We've got a big game against Carlton this week, and then the Bulldogs, and hopefully we can have a really strong final month to the season. And I'll be as much a part of it, even though I won't be out there playing. So I'll be still around and part of that. But yeah, I think my journey, I've loved every minute of it.
Do you know why the clots formed, how that all came to be?
So stupidly, Rooch, we were winning quite comfortably. Ken should have picked me in the seniors that week. He didn't, but was running around in the sample and went up for a spoil, came down, hurt both my knees in the same incident. I think the first person to ever do that. But one required surgery, and you normally walk out of the scope, but because I had the other knee, I couldn't walk out. And then spent 2 or 3 days on the couch and bed, and just didn't move because I couldn't. Both knees were shot, and then obviously a clot formed in my calf, and then a couple went up to the lungs, so a little bit hairy there for a bit. But I think Chief said to call 911, so he didn't care, and Shana was happy the will was all in place, so they were all calm, and I was a bit nervous, but yeah, we got there in the end. So. Unfortunately, they could hang around for a period of time. I said maybe could be there for 10 years. You don't have to stay on blood thinners for that long, but there is a risk that if you get off them and then you get hit in that calf playing a contact sport, it can transition to your lungs and do a bit of damage. So yeah, I think it's the right decision and the timing's right.
So when did you know you had to make this call?
I made it probably 10 days ago. Went and got a scan and seen the physician about it. And I wasn't comfortable to continue to play and put my family through a worst possible case. If it was a shoulder or a knee or something like that I could repair, I would have pushed and done everything I can. But yeah, probably the realisation is when I got that news and then gave everyone a call, and yeah, that was probably a bit emotional, that part of it, trying to get the words out, but sort of probably knew then that it was all over, and made the decision a couple of days after that.
Ken, is Tom being a bit too rough on himself, saying he didn't give back something to Port Adelaide after you invested your faith in him?
Oh yeah, no, he's. I think Tom. Tom speaks about his absolute best footy, and he played some really good football for us. But I think two shoulders and a knee, and in a short period of time, made it really hard for him to be at his absolute best. But when he was last year, and particularly when we had a really strong season performance, Tom was front and centre of that for us as an inside mid who was really important to the way we play. He brings so much more to your football team than just the playing part too. Tom brings so much excitement and fun to our footy club. It's been a pleasure to have him here. Sometimes it's been an absolute pain in the you-know-what with Tom, but he brings so much pleasure to so many people, and it's a credit to him, the type of person he is, that he's came into our football club 4 years ago and has been, it feels like he's been here forever, and I'm sure the boys are going to miss him around the locker room, no doubt about that, and we'll miss him on the footy field. He did everything he could this year, as he said, to get back. I was pushing him to get back, and you're probably thinking sometimes why we weren't playing me initially early, but you want me back. And I just thought Tom was going to be a pretty important part to us at the back end of this season if we could have got him fit and firing. And unfortunately, with the damage that he done in that one sample game, it was not going to be able to happen for him. But he's going to be missed by our footy club in lots of ways, and he's probably is a little hard on his performance at Port Adelaide. But I think that's the type of player he was. He wants to be the best. He always did, always was. One of the reasons we went and got him one day, I remember we trying to tag him up at the Gabba. We were sending 2 or 3 people to try and slow him down from getting the ball 40 or 50 times. He's such a creative player, such a brilliant football brain, like as intelligent a football person as you'll ever see.
So on that, Tom, we've seen you cut up tape and show it to us on TV shows. Did you think of doing it as a coach?
Could I coach? If anyone can. That's not true.
Fair.
That's not true.
See, I'll miss him for a second.
I think I could. I don't know what's next for me. Me and Shana and Jack, we haven't covered that off yet. Obviously, I love Port Adelaide and love AFL footy, so if I am to stay in footy and stay in coaching, that's certainly an option that we'll definitely look at. I think we just need to take the moment in this present moment just to reflect on my career and what it's been, and make the decision in coming weeks what it looks like for us into the future. Yeah.
So do you have a highlight? Do you have something that sticks out in your mind as your highlight as your football career?
Oh, there's so many you talk about, but there's no doubt that first final that I played here in front of nearly a packed house last year was a really special moment for me. To go 200 odd games without playing in one, and then the way we played against Geelong that night, we did it the right way. We were a bit off early, but we found a way, and that feeling after the game to win the qualifying final was something that I'll never forget. You remember certain things in your career, and I think you clearly remember your first game, and then the important ones after that, your milestone ones, the games where I think we came back one day at Brisbane by 50 points to beat Geelong, who were the premiers the year before, in the last quarter. Like, things like that is what I remember most, and the good team wins. But yeah, I think just it's been an incredible journey, and no doubt I'll look back at some point and look back and identify more games. But I think the key one was the qualifying final last year.
What does it mean to have your family here, and more importantly your son here, hopefully maybe following your footsteps one day? Yeah,
he's pretty excited. He wants to get out there and have a kick. He's probably sick of Dad talking. But yeah, it's really important. I think you enter the game as an 18-year-old and pretty raw out of school. Came from a country town and played footy and trained during the week, and you drink beers on the weekend, and you quickly learn that to make that sustainable, you can't do that at AFL level, and you learn to adapt. You have a beer at the right times, but you find a way, and I'll leave the game for better. I've got Shana, my wife, and Jack, and we've got another son, only 8 weeks away, so to leave the game and have that family and support, your life completely changes from when you start to when you finish, and I'm pretty lucky to be able to do it for 13 years. I know that not everyone gets that opportunity, so yeah, it's pretty special.
Rocky, is this decision, the fact that it came down to your health and long-term future, did it make it any easier for you?
I suppose a little bit. You'd love to go out on your own terms, as I said before, and you'd love to go out with the premiership and finish on 300 games and play forever. I think the competitor inside us all wants to play forever, but the realistic thing is we can't. So, yeah, look, it was going to be touch and go anyway, I suppose. I think Drew's been really good, come in, played some really good footy this year, and other guys, and the development of our group. So I knew that it was a possibility, probably, but once it gets taken out of your hands, it makes it a little bit easier, and I'm more than content with that. I've been selfish for a long time, and now it's time to put the family first. And Shana encouraged the decision to come down here when we did. She was a strong driver in that, so now it's over to them, and they can decide what's next and where we go and what we do. But yeah, it makes it a little bit easier.
How are you feeling physically at the moment?
Yeah, physically fine. Don't really notice the clots or anything. I was back and pretty much completing full training without contact. So that was until 10 days ago. I've probably put on about 4 kilos since then, but it's not going to take me long to look like Kenny and Chief. But we will get there. But physically at the moment, yeah, I'm in pretty good form. But as I said before, I left the game. I started the game as fat, slow, no arms, no muscles, and I probably left the game the same way. So, but physically, I'm fine. Yeah.
What about telling the players this morning? How difficult was that?
Yeah, that was a tricky one this morning. They told me not to cry, not to get upset. Some said just let it go. Some said to picture everyone naked, and didn't really want to do that with a couple of the boys. But that was a hard one, and I think I got about four words into it and started to well up, and the throat went, and that was it. But I somehow found a way to get through it. As you all know, I'm pretty good with my words and wittiness, so I somehow found my way to get through that. But that was the one I didn't sleep real well last night over telling the boys. I told a couple of them, but yeah, to tell the whole playing group and stand up there, and it is only one phase of life, but it's been a huge part of my life and who I am, and to finish up, it was always going to be hard to tell the playing group that.
You touched on it before, but is that one of the disappointments that it took until last year to actually make the finals?
Yeah, it does. Like, you'd love to be Joel Selwood or someone like that and play in a grand final in your first year and win a ridiculous amount of games. I think they've won 280 games or something like that. But not everyone gets to write their own script. Matthew Richardson was my favourite player growing up. He never got the success that he probably deserved. He's one of the great players of all time, and he never got a premiership or anything like that. So it's a hard competition, and we've seen even this week the way the results have gone. Any team can win on any given game. So I understand that it's not easy. I would have loved to have played in more finals, played in big games, but as I said before, I wouldn't change anything. I loved Brisbane when I was there, my time there. We had challenging times, there's no doubt about that. I left the club on pretty good terms, came to another great football club, Port Adelaide. I mean, there's so much history when you walk through these doors, and even sitting here doing the press conference in the Magpies change rooms, it means so much to so many people, and you don't really know that. I didn't know that until I got here, but you quickly understand, and you quickly appreciate why it is such a special footy club, and I wouldn't change my journey at all. It's turned me into the person I am, taught me so many life lessons, and I'm much better for going through the lows that I went through and also the highs.
Ken, you've got a pretty important month of footy coming up. Is there perhaps a message here for your other players saying, take your chances while you can, because you never know when you're going to be back at top four and playing finals? Yeah,
it's exactly what we spoke about once Tom spoke this morning to the group, was how quickly it does go and the opportunities that you get. And he talks about his moment of playing in a qualifying final, and he played 200 odd games with only a couple of finals. So it is hard to to understand that when you're young. You know, if you're only a young or first or second year player, to get hold of that. But the reality is, as he's mentioned, Richo, and you know, some of the great players in our game have never got to the success of an team success that they really require. Players know that, but it's really hard for young people to live in that moment. They do hear Tom, and they'll take messages out of Tom this morning, no doubt, that they'll operate with for the short term. But it's the challenge for them is the message of you have to work really hard to maximise your career, and even then you might not get everything you want, but it's worth it. It's worth the journey, and it's worth the challenge of maximising it. Now, young people heard that this morning from Tom.
What sort of role has Tom had since he's been, doing a bit of coaching with you, and what sort of role will he have coming into the finals?
Well, luckily enough, we've got Tom to help us out quite quickly in the coaching. As I said before, his football intelligence is off the charts. He's as good as anyone in the game when he sees the game, and he helps and coaches our young boys now, and he's already doing a lot of coaching with our younger players. And in fact, our whole squad, we started a little hands group with Tom, and that quickly swelled from 10 to 15 to 40 now doing it with him. So he builds them and he brings them along with him, and he does a really good job. He's got an energy for coaching. You can tell that. He's also, I'm sure he likes to perform in front of the camera, so he would like to do some of that as well. But the next journey will be open for Tom to choose, but he's certainly going to be more than capable of being an outstanding coach. Because I think relationships makes a coach, and I think Tom, with the way he's connected with our football club in a short period of time, really 4 years, just only endorses him to go on and do whatever it is that he wants to challenge himself with. But as a coach, I'm sure he'd be successful.
Rocky, just on a lighter note, you've been a fantasy favourite your whole career. Do you have a message for all those Australians that have been relying on you to get touch of the footy?
I think that's the opening line was every pig has their day. So yeah, look, the fantasy community out there, there's no doubt that they built my profile up pretty quickly. So I have to thank them for that, and I apologise for the back end of my career and the abuse I copped. But thank you to everyone involved in AFL footy. I mean, everyone that's been a part of my journey. It's incredible the support and love you get along the way, and there's no doubt you have challenging moments. But they are really excited, and I suppose if AFL Fantasy or that need an ambassador, you're probably looking at it.